Hello everyone from Israel. I am currently in Rishon LeZion, which is quite near Tel Aviv, and I'm wandering around here today. I wanted to share with you a few clips. The late great Charlie Kirk was writing a book, and he wrote a book about honoring the Sabbath, and they've just published it. Obviously, it wasn't published at the time of him being alive for him to promote it. But what he wrote is, frankly, completely remarkable. The book is not about politics, actually. It's about the Sabbath, the Shabbat, Shabbos, keeping the Sabbath, why he believes everyone should. And he came up with the most brilliant name for it: Stop in the Name of God. I want you to first watch this clip of Charlie while he was still alive, talking about writing this book while he was speaking at, I think it was the Oxford Union. Have a watch of this, and then I'll see you for more comments.
I could talk about the Sabbath all day long. I don't know if anyone is interested in this, so you could roll your eyes. But I'm a Christian, so whether or not we're bound to the Jewish Sabbath is hotly debated. There's great arguments for, great arguments against. I'm actually writing a book right now on why I honor the Sabbath. It's very simple. It's called Stop in the Name of God, Why Honoring the Sabbath Will Change the World, basically. And it is an argument that in this hyper-materialistic, very fast, digitally frenzied world, that there is this gift that I believe the Lord gave the Hebrews that we have decided to just gloss over. And it's very simple. It's that for one day you will stop, that it will be holy, that it will be different. For those of you that are agnostic or not Christian, I still encourage you to do this. People that honor the Sabbath live longer. We know this with the Seventh-day Adventists. They actually are happier. They have better health outcomes. Everything about disconnecting from modernity is good for you. It is inarguable. Like this is a material fact. But why is it that we have forgotten it? Well, for me personally, I work like crazy for 6 days. On Friday night, even Sunday morning, I turn my phone off and I try to stop. I try to make it distinct. I try to make it different. It's where I do my best thinking. It's where I do my best time with my family. And again, this kind of goes back to, okay, we're trying to create all this new stuff. Like, wow, we're going to have this new technological innovation. We're going to have this vaccine, and we're going to be able to solve this with quantum mechanics and quantum computing. And I'm kind of like, honestly, something was told to us on Sinai that we shouldn't forget. That like, you shouldn't work for 7 days. In the retelling of the 10 Commandments in the book of Deuteronomy, the only difference of the retelling of the 10 Commandments is when Moses says, hey, you shouldn't work 7 days because you're no longer a slave. What Moses is saying is like, only slaves work for 7 days, actually. And we in the West have kind of been slaves to our work. And I say this as a free market capitalist. That's not good. It's making us depressed. It's making us anxious. And all of you have the agency to disconnect from that, to make a choice to no longer have to be subservient to the ever more next text, next alert, next email, next WhatsApp message. And it kind of goes back to a theme I've been saying that it has worked. It's also a phenomenal civilizational preserving tool. It's worked for the Jews. They've been kicked out of a lot of countries, and a lot of people have hated the Jews, including right now. And they're thriving and they're growing and they continue. I think God has given us a preservative for a civilization. And I believe it is the Sabbath.
And President Trump just now has been promoting this new book. Again, I think the title name is just absolutely brilliant. And I want to also show you Erika Kirk, who is also speaking about the book. And she said that Shabbat Shalom was something that Charlie Kirk would regularly say every single Friday night. He kept it on the original Sabbath day, the day we believe is actually the day God rested, from Friday night till Saturday night. And by the way, you should know that just a few weeks before Charlie was murdered, he actually, we had a brief text exchange, and his last words to me were Shabbat Shalom on a text message. But have a watch of Erika's words, just where she talks about this, and then I want to go a little bit deeper with you on the significance of this. Have a watch.
It's those little things where, again, he would walk through the door, drop his bags, Daddy's home, take his phone, Friday night, Shabbat Shalom, throw it in the junk drawer, and it was just all us. And that's what I always wanted to make so special for him, was coming home. I'd always say, baby, I don't care what time you get home. Home is here for you. Your food will never be cold. It might sit out for a little bit, but I'll reheat it. It's fine. And
so there's no doubt that, of course, it would benefit everyone massively to be switched off and spend time with family and not be so frenzied in their own minds. I mean, I always say to my family and to my wife, I don't get it. I always seem to sleep so well on Friday nights. And then I realized, oh, it's because I wasn't on my phone till late in the night, and you're kind of, I don't think anyone, until you switch off, appreciates just how charged and wired we get from technology. And it truly is a gift. It's a gift for time spent with family and communication and connection to God, reflection. But this goes a lot deeper. This goes a lot deeper. You know, I don't think it's an accident that the people talking about becoming aware of the Sabbath is happening as we kind of are reaching a climactic moment in world history. And I'm saying this from a Jewish philosophical perspective. What do I mean by that? Well, you know, it's amazing. The Talmud actually says that if the Jewish people were to keep all of them, to keep just 2 Sabbaths in all its laws and practices, then the Messiah, the Mashiach, would come immediately. There's an idea that just as God created the world in 6 days and rested on the 7th, that actually it's kind of like the prototype for world history, the 6 days of creation, the 7th day of rest. We believe that there's, for the world building up to the Messianic era and then the world to come, will be 6,000 years. We're currently in the year, I think it's 5,007, 8, I forgot what it is it 83 or 84? I can't remember, but it's one of the two. We are very close to that cutoff point where the Messiah, there's a tradition that he has to come by that point. Because once you get to, that's the end of the Messianic era. Then once you get from the year 6,000 to 7,000, we have the world to come, a world of rest on a universal level, on a global level, where the world has achieved its purpose and we can enjoy in the world that we've built and created comes to fruition. So I think it's no accident that we're becoming aware of this now as we reach that Messianic and world to come era. It's no accident the world's starting to raise its consciousness of the Sabbath because, yes, on one level, on a basic level, it's very beneficial to all of us and it has so much blessing. But actually you go deeper and it touches on the very story of human and global history. So this is some really, really deep stuff. Now there is, by the way, a law and a principle that non-Jews cannot keep the Sabbath in all its details and laws, because this is something that is a kind of an intimate ritual which kept it in its entirety. It's done in an intimate sense between the Jewish people and God. However, the idea of people leaning into the Sabbath and doing things to stop, to experience some of that rest and holiness, absolutely should be welcomed and encouraged. And I think Charlie Kirk is absolutely right. If more people were to do this, then it would be a good thing. And this, by the way, touches on something that I think more and more people are going to be waking up to now, which is that he says, you know, Christianity believes that we discard the law because, you know, they believe in faith. But I think slowly we're going to be waking up to the reality that actually God's law that he gave us, it's eternal, it was perfect, and it's realistic. The idea that humanity is so fallen that we can't keep it, that is not the Jewish view. That is not the Jewish view. We can keep it. The Jewish people, yes, in the last few centuries, some Jews have strayed from the path because, you know, we've been in exile for so long, because things are so confusing, because of so much suffering, persecution. But for the most part, and even now, so many Jews are so loyal to the law that were given at Mount Sinai so many centuries ago, 3,300 years ago. And just as Islam took it to the law to an extreme in a kind of very strict justice kind of way, and took everything, women covering the hair to covering the whole face and everything, to praying 3 times a day to praying 5 times a day, just fasting for atonement for 1 day, took it to a month. They took everything to an extreme in terms of keeping everything, and then Christianity kind of took it everything to like dropping a lot of it. The Jewish middle path, Torah, God's law, his guide was always perfect to begin with. So I think more and more people are going to be waking up to that, and as I say, that is the inevitable path of human history.
Before we finish, I just want to share with you something really important. We are told that Israel's actions are the cause of the Israeli-Arab conflict, but we've just released a groundbreaking documentary proving that Arab Islamic Jew hatred far predates Israel's re-establishment. This is a critical fact that everyone needs to learn about. Have a watch of our trailer for our new JTV Plus documentary entitled Arab Anti-Semitism Before Israel's Re-establishment. Picture yourself, it's 1834 and you're a Jew living in Shabbat, which is a northern city in Israel, then under the Ottoman Empire. Your family is part of this ancient city's spiritual heart for generations. You study Torah, you trade in the market, and live quietly among your Arab neighbours. But one day, a mob storms your street, shouting, "Kill the Jews!" Your home is looted, your synagogue burned, your loved ones beaten. This isn't about Israel. Israel won't exist for 114 years. This isn't about settlements, the IDF, or the 1948 displacements. This is raw, violent hatred aimed at you for being a Jew. And it's not just in Palestine, it's part of a centuries-old story of anti-Semitism woven into Arab and Islamic history, from the dawn of Islam to the streets of Hebron. The claim that this conflict began with Israel's creation, the Nakba, or modern policies, is a farce, a distortion that collapses under history's magnifying glass. Welcome to JTV Plus. I'm Ollie Annisfeld, and today we're uncovering a history too often buried, the relentless anti-Semitism among Arabs in Palestine before 1948, rooted in a broader Arab and Muslim hostility that began with Islam's inception in the 7th century. To watch this JTV Plus documentary and access much more premium content, click on the link in the video description.